And you think about the 65 billion trickling into the economy, you're talking about a lot of jobs. Yeah, a couple of things. He's been honored. In 2008, Rainbow Push honored Tony with the Keep Hope Alive Award. In 2006, he received the National Action Network's Keeper of the Dream Award. Enough said. Let's get Tony up here.
Thank you, Mark, and good afternoon. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be with you here. I have some prepared remarks, but since this is a press group, I'm assuming the Q&A is really what folks are interested in, and I have lots of support to answer the questions. So I'm going to present the formal remarks, and then every time you ask a question, I'm going to ask one of my colleagues to answer it for me. That makes it easy for me.
You're a manager.
No, that's the price they had to pay for having me come. So let me start off by saying we really do appreciate the opportunity, Mark. So thank you very much for allowing us the opportunity, coupled with our event that we had take place here downstairs earlier. Hopefully y'all had a chance to spend a few minutes with the vehicle and learn about what makes it such an exciting new entry to the SUV segment. You've heard about the class-leading fuel economy and the safety it will have. You've also seen what a good-looking vehicle it is. And is that a good-looking vehicle or what? Our CFO likes to comment about the beauty of being in this industry is that when you look at the end product, you just want to walk up and stroke the fender. That's when you know you got it right. And so I think that in the case of the Explorer, Scott and the team have absolutely gotten it right. While it's a blue oval that's on the grille that clearly identifies this vehicle as Ford, there are a lot of other companies outside of Ford that are involved in producing what you see on the road. And of course, I'm talking about our suppliers. Because I'm in charge of the function at Ford that has the privilege to lead our supplier base, I'd like to spend a few minutes telling you about those that don't often get a lot of visibility, and probably that you don't often get to talk about and hear about yourselves in your lines of work. Here's some of the top-level facts. Suppliers are responsible for 60 to 70% of what goes into a typical vehicle. So that vehicle you see sitting downstairs, the suppliers provide 60 to 70% of the cost of goods sold that goes into that, and typically a larger proportion of the absolute components that go into that vehicle. Now, these companies produce things like instrument panels, instrument gauges, bumpers, covers, engines, engine parts, carpets, floor mats, headliners that go into making these vehicles. And at Ford, there are 1,600 companies around the world that make the parts and components that go into Ford Motor Company vehicles. There are 9,000 companies that provide the stuff that support the production of the vehicles. Things as simple as a pen or a pencil that someone might use in their office, or the advertising or media buy that supports the launch of a vehicle. All of the support work that took place to make the event downstairs possible, which we call our non-production purchasing aspects of the business. So, all in all, when you put it all together, as Mark mentioned, we buy $65 billion worth of stuff to support our products. Now, I don't know about your neighborhood, but from where I come from, 65 billion is a pretty big number. And it's a huge responsibility that we take very seriously because of the significant economic impact that it has on our society. And we have to be responsible in that regard. Moreover, the companies that take that money, in turn, turn around and spend it on their own facilities, on their own factories, on their own research and development, in their own local communities. They conduct sophisticated research and engineering to develop advanced materials, weight-saving technologies, fuel-saving techniques to improve the quality of our vehicles while making them safer, smarter, and greener, all at the same time. So you can see how important suppliers are, not just to Ford, but to the U.S. national economy. Without them, we wouldn't have a manufacturing base or the technical expertise that exists today in our country. As an automaker, We have a choice which suppliers we want to do business with. But this is not a one-way game. Our suppliers also have a choice of who they do business with. They can choose what car company gets first shot at their most innovative technologies developed by their best people. They could sell it to someone other than Ford if they chose to do so. That's why it's vital that we have a strong relationship with our supply base. Not only do we need to stay abreast of industry trends and how to make vehicles more safe and fuel efficient, we rely on them to deliver high-quality parts to our plants every day. Fortunately for us, we have something called the One Ford Plan, and it fits neatly on little cards that we carry around with us. The One Ford Plan is something that guides what we do and how we behave with all of our stakeholders. And the last line on the card says, an exciting, viable Ford, delivering profitable growth for all, which includes our suppliers in that for all. So they need profitability in order for them to grow and to prosper, just as we need it to grow and prosper in our business. They have to be able to invest in their people, their facilities, their research and engineering that will allow them to expand and prosper in order to support us. Several years ago, we launched an initiative in purchasing and as a company to develop a more financially viable supply base. It's a well-known fact that there's too much capacity in the auto industry, not just among automakers, but also among suppliers as well. Too many companies chasing too few contracts will not get you down the road to success. At least in the long term, it won't. You might survive for a while, but sooner or later, it catches up. So in 2005, we launched what we called the Aligned Business Framework, or ABF. It sets down guidelines for Ford and our suppliers and how we'll work together. Through it, we forge agreements that strengthen collaboration, drive mutual profitability, and technology development. We started with 7 ABF suppliers in September of 2005. Today, we have 88. At the same time, the business that we do with our ABF suppliers is increasing. ABF companies accounted for 34% of Ford Motor Company global production buy in 2006. Last year, that figure reached 50%. And our long-term goal is to consolidate the bulk of our buy with up to 65% with our ABF suppliers. The program has been successful in 2 other key aspects as well. ABF suppliers consistently deliver higher quality performance to our factories, which allows us to deliver higher quality vehicles to our customers. ABF has also paved the way for us to become more effective in working with our suppliers on a global basis as the auto industry rapidly expands, as we all know. Now, this is extremely important to Ford as we move to global platforms. Instead of making different vehicles for different markets within the next few years, all of our vehicles competing in the global segments will be common with North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. Although we still tailor our cars to the needs of each market, this new strategy will allow us to use our global assets in the most efficient way possible. That has huge implications for our supply base. The new focus we're introducing next year, for example, has 80% common sourcing on a global basis. The same will hold true for the next generation of commercial vehicles that we'll introduce around the world as well. Put another way, major components such as doors, instrument panels, brake systems, seats, you name it, will be the same in each region of the world. We'll engineer it once, and in many instances, we'll tool it once. That means a supplier can use the same engineering and the same set of tools, and if it's a global component that can be shipped, the same manufacturing location. Think about the economic efficiencies that our suppliers are able to gain as a result of the strategy that we're deploying as part of our One Ford strategy. The quality and efficiency improvements that come from leveraging these economies of scale are tremendous. In fact, I'd hazard a guess that we and our suppliers are beginning to enter the takeoff phase of the strategies that we laid in place going back to early 2006 when Alan joined us.